Hey guys, what is going on? So I'm re-recording the Wednesday market breakdown just because the first one had a technical issue with the voice, but it's all good. I'll leave that one up anyway. You can watch it if you want to watch it. You guys, it's there. So essentially what we're looking at now is the XY. It does look like this could potentially be moving upwards. Don't worry about this channel so much. I just drew it on for just a sort of outlook for it. I'll keep it on there anyway, just because I'd like to see some sort of structure develop, but more so we are looking quite bullish, so it's moving quite good. We are moving in a bit of a corrective manner, so just understand that, but maybe this is just the nature of it, and we're getting a bit of an aggressive push, which is representative on the USD CAD, which is really nice. JP225, we didn't quite get that continuation to downside. Yeah, it is what it is, but we're still seeing some good movement from New Zealand yen. GBP New Zealand, New Zealand yen I meant, but GBP New Zealand, stunning, honestly, absolutely stunning. I'm going to quickly go over this now. So if we look at the weekly, we can see that we have this sort of 1, 2, 3 leading into this area. We do have a little bit of a liquidity area just above it, but it's about 170 pips away from current PA, maybe a little bit more actually. I think from the high it was about 170, yeah, so it was, yeah, well, roughly looking at about 250 pips, so it's still quite a large gap between current price action. If we zoom into the final ending structure, we see that there is the possibility for a 1, 2, 3 here. However, within this, when we have this override section leading into this, what we do have is we have this internal structure within it, where we have a 1, 2, 3 leading into this point here. Now this is quite interesting because it gives us a little bit more room for this to be movement, especially if this was going to be a 1, 2, 3. You know, maybe we would have got a bit of a better angle. Do you see what I mean? Like, it hasn't really developed its way. So what I'm thinking we could see is that price from here commits down to the 90, to this level here, and then we see it more angled as this becomes maybe more of the middle section, and then price comes back up here before we see a sell. And I think that in context looks a lot better, hence the reason why I believe that this ascending, which essentially lines out of this, which you can see where we had this and then it built this ascending within it, becomes a little bit more higher probability. So that's one of the reasons why I think this is going to be quite a nice trade, and I think you definitely need to stay sharp for it. I'll just take this line out so we can separate these two, but once again you can see that we do have a bit more of a bull run, but this is the ultimate higher time frame structure that we're looking at, where we have 1, 2, 3 and it's fulfilled. But the only thing is, with the ending structure on the daily, we can see that we are creating something a little bit more in depth, but we're just waiting for that to fully develop. So if this can come down to here, it's going to be a pretty decent move, and then into that region for it to come back up, and I think that would be pretty good. And yeah, of course that could take about a week, 2 weeks, could even be very, very quick, so we have to be very sharp for these. The 4 hour we can see is quite nice actually at this point, so we are getting the full 4 hour retrace on this high, and this is a 4 hour structure, so for that reason the 4 hour retrace is more than applicable, and I think it's very nice that we're seeing that. I think position sizing has been pretty easy, and I'll go into this quickly. So if we go to the hourly chart, what we can see over here is we do have the 1, 2, 3 and that is completed, and the nice thing is we do seem to have candlestick confirmation in this area. Yes, now because of how aggressively impulsive the last leg was, the candlestick confirmation actually isn't enough, unfortunately. You know, simply having something just like that, which I was looking at, so you had this push up, you had the corrective, you had the pin bar, then you had the correction 50% of this one. That was kind of more than enough structurally, but then you were looking for a little bit more, and we were looking for a flag more so in this area. If this happened and it shaped up, it would have been pretty decent, but we didn't quite get that. And then even on the F5M, I couldn't really see anything that jumped out. Analyzing this bit of price action, I don't think I could see anything, so maybe there could be a time we get something like that, and that works in continuation, and then perhaps we see it like this, where this was one separate piece of price, and then this becomes its own separate bit of price. So understand that this is a possibility as well. And then yes, it does look a little bit corrective, and there is the possibility that this does, you know, turn into something like that, but then at least by that point we can manage it and we can see it through. So I will be looking at that very carefully, but more than likely we could just sell off a bit more before we get a flag. It's completely fine if we do so. But yeah, so essentially we're going to be looking for that short position. If it comes into play, I think it will be very, very nice. We just have to wait and see. But this leg could be very, very aggressive because we do need to feel this momentum, and then we do need to feel this fast in order to come up back up here. So I would like to see that happen. Looking at New Zealand yen, we had the 1, 2, 3 completion. This one was actually very, very nice. So we had the larger time frame structure where we see we filled this, and then if we drill into the 4 hour and get a bit closer, we can see we had the near miss to that. But even though we had the rejection, we came back with a 1, 2, 3, filled this, and then at that point over there, position was available. Perhaps not in the preference of everyone though, I'll be honest with you. It's not the most preferred position, but then you could have potentially looked at this for a phase line entry. And I think once again, it's just the angle's very difficult. And I understand why somebody wouldn't take it, really and truly. The only other one was the 5 minute on this one, but I wouldn't have touched it personally at all. And then now we're down here, so if we can get something, I mean, this is very tight down here. And I don't think that this would be a bad trade personally, just because of the amount we're consolidating in here. So I think this actually could be enough for this to sell off. And position sizing, yeah, I mean, you couldn't really protect yourself too much on this one. If you were here, even so, probably squeeze it about 10. So I think even taking the trade on a reduced risk, it is what it is. Yeah, this one's probably ready to go, man. We'll probably see it flying about the end of this webinar, to be honest with you. And yeah, so essentially that would be the trade. I mean, in terms of the hourly, it's not yet ready, but I think 15 minute wise, there's more than enough accumulation in there for you to consider it for a reduced risk. I think personally it does come with a bit of risk if you are going to take it. Yeah, you would have to really find a way to mitigate your risk. I think 30 pips would be appropriate. Yeah, about there. I mean, if it does come to that point, you would be tagged out anyway, but I think you could probably squeeze it around about 20, to be fair. I think that's more than enough, really and truly. But I think giving it the 1 hour sort of possibility, it does look like it's going to drop off, to be fair. It does look like it's a pretty good trade. USD CAD is looking absolutely stunning. There wasn't an entry I could see maybe in there, but no, nothing shaped up for me. But now we're in a very good value area. I think I was saying this in the last video, which didn't record properly. If we break above here, create a flag, 110% you're looking for that long. You know, that's higher probability, especially with the way the DXY is moving. Mate, this could be stunning. So this could be a 10 out of 10 trade. So let that play. I think that will be good to just see how that shapes up. Next one will be GA. GA, I think we had this one in here. So we had a push down and we had this, not the best sort of trade in the world, but we had this leading into that, and then we had this sort of price action here. And I think for that, you could have understood that, okay, if I am taking this flag, this would be the best positioning. And yeah, okay, behold, you would have run around about 6%, but you would have sat through some tight price action. I think that could easily go missed. And personally, I am looking at this to go like this. Where are we kind of correct? Come back up, correct again. And then maybe do something like that. I am looking at something like this, so understanding that that is also a possibility. Or maybe we evolve even further. We take this touch, we look at something like that. A few variables on the table, to be honest. So just understand that we are coming from the high, and this is more than enough. So if we do sell off and create flags, we can go to the low, but we can still create larger structure for reversal. New Zealand CAD, I'm looking for the reversal on New Zealand CAD, but it might not yet be just ready. So even so, we've seen this corrective move lower, looking to play this massive range. So if we can come in here and get a push up, get a flag, we can take the range to go up to here. So that's what I'm basically banking on. We did not fulfill a 1, 2, 3 though, and that is also a possibility, but I know we don't have to. I know that if we come into here and we push back up, it's more than enough. So just want to see that if that potentially turns into a 4-hour retrace, or even if we get a small decent push up and a flag over here, it's still pretty good. Aussie New Zealand, not yet ready yet. Can't really say what I'm looking for at this point. I was originally looking for the smaller flag to come into here, the scoop, and then the rejection here. Didn't quite get it. So if we do get a push back in and a flag, I'm not going to entertain that because this can develop into something larger, and I'll just be prepared for that. Aussie US dollar sold off. Didn't get an entry I was looking for. I was looking for something like that. Perhaps maybe there was some reading between the lines with the accumulation, but couldn't quite catch a trade on this. Pretty good movement though. Understood the structure in a whole. It is what it is. Same with Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss is a bit of a, I guess, not the best, but at the same time, you could understand this. You know, you can understand where we're coming to. Just looking for structure really with that aggressive move. Just wanted to see some flags, but didn't quite get that. This one's not ready in my opinion. So yet we have a 1, 2, 3. Very aggressive, sort of long legs, which is cool, but impulsive move. Interesting move. Absolutely interesting. Let's just quickly tighten up. So we have sort of small collection point here. More so we're looking at this bit of liquidity here, which is now being filled. I think this is the place where you're going to be paying a bit of attention to, because over here is where we could see something very interesting happen when we get an aggressive push, create a flag, and we go. And then you go back and look at that and you're like, whoa, what a mega move, honestly. A mega move that can just impulse and go move so quick on the market, and you'd be like, shit, I should have seen that trade, I should have taken advantage of that. So that's one that you definitely need to stay sharp for. Euro USD, still just sizing that up, not quite sure what the structure is. Swiss yen, not yet ready. GBP yen, not yet ready. Japanese yen, CAD yen, not ready. And USD yen, not ready. They can all easily just push down aggressively, create a flag and go. So understand that's a possibility. Some of them are just so close to their highs that's why I think they're just not ready yet, because they can still do their stuff and then move. They could create the 1, 2, 3. Just need to wait patiently. Some of them are maybe they're just going to trickle. I was looking for a large flag territory to accumulate. It's possible still, but more than likely we might see this go. I think GBP yen could be a good trade to this low, and then essentially on that low we just look for the buy. But that's basically it for this week. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.